In this video, we're going to walk through the process that I use for creating slightly more complex frames. The stone that I've selected for this project is just for example. This same framing technique could be applied to any size stone. This opal cab is 26 by 15 millimeters. For our first wire, I've cut 6 inches of 16 gauge square. Taking my pliers in the middle of the wire, I'm going to go ahead and bend 90 degrees into both sides of our square to create the top where we can secure a bail to our piece. From here, I'm going to create a teardrop shape for our frame. In order to make sure that we have the space to pass elements through our frame, I'm giving myself about 1/4 of an inch around on all sides of the stone. Some parts of the stone may end up closer to the frame once we secure it into the piece, but giving myself the space gives me more flexibility when adding more elements to it. For our next wire, I've cut 6 inches of 18 gauge half round. I'm going to secure our 2 squares together on the right side first. Using half round for this part of our frame will enable us to have a slim profile on the side and not create too much bulk in our piece. Once I've passed this around both sides of the square, I'm going to trim that ending short and tuck it in towards the center of the piece. Next, we're going to take our remaining length of 18 gauge and pass it all the way around to the opposite side of the frame, creating a strap across the back. This strap will begin to form the back of our stone setting. With the rest of that same piece of 18 gauge, we're going to repeat the same process at the top to create a strap for the back of the setting of the top of the stone. When it comes to spacing these wires apart, we want to make sure that there's enough where our stone can sit comfortably on the wires, but not too much where it goes directly across the middle of the back of the stone. If your stone is transparent or translucent, you'll want to get those wires as close to the edges of the stone as possible. In this case, my stone is not transparent at all, so I can have a little bit more leeway with where I place those wires. Once we have them spaced, we can go ahead and secure the second ending to the top right of our frame. One of the topics that we've talked about a lot recently on Patreon is what to do to reduce the size of these 3 segments so we have a smaller area to pass elements through, making it easier for us to fill out the composition. Our next step for this frame is going to be to further break down our 3 negative spaces. We're going to do so with 6 more inches of 18 gauge half round. I'm going to start by securing one end of my 18 gauge to the back of our strap. We're going to bring it straight down and secure the other ending here to our other strap on the back. With this side secured, we're going to use our remaining 18 gauge to do the same on the opposite side. Now that we've divided the center section into 3 parts instead of one large part, we have smaller spaces that we can incorporate elements through. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom, creating one strap from the middle directly to the bottom of our frame. We could continue to add more straps across the back to create smaller and smaller sections, as well as adding additional anchor points for new elements. For this piece, I'm going to call my frame here. Before incorporating any further elements, I do have a little bit of leftover square on both sides of my frame that I can trim short and tuck in towards the center of the piece. From here, our frame is ready for elements to be added to it. Just for an example, if I take this coil that we worked on together from our half-round coil video, I can pass it through to the centermost section of our frame and bring the ending wire out to the side where I could secure it to the frame from here. My long wire, I could bring all the way down around the bottom and pass through on the opposite bottom corner. This acts as a nice building block for our composition from here. Breaking down our frame into smaller sections just makes it a little bit easier for us to incorporate elements like our double coil. I hope this framing idea helps give you some inspiration for your next compositions. If you'd like to see me do a whole process from start to finish, follow the link below for Patreon. A special thank you goes out to all of the names on the screen for supporting this channel through Patreon. What I am doing would not be possible without your support. If you're interested in helping support the channel, follow the link in the description below this video. If you found this video helpful, leave me a like on the video. This helps me a lot with the visibility of my videos and YouTube's algorithms. To be the first to know when I upload new content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and happy wrapping.